You actually have to want it. If you don't want it, if you just want to talk about it, it'll never happen.
It is awful. Anything that's not sustainable or has these drastic restrictions, like caloric restriction, like too much caloric restriction, you are going to set yourself up for failure. So what is going on, everyone? I have my very, very long-standing client and good friend. I've finally come to terms that we are friends. Nicholas Melnick.
Took 5 years.
Nick, it took 5 years. Now that you know that.
Such a good friend.
May 18th, 2019. 5 years.
Yeah.
Good friendship. Nick came in.
Very fat.
Very fat. The story I think is. Because I don't remember that it was a slide. So Nick,
it was the slide.
Nick had said, say it. Say what you're going to say.
For take one, from take one.
Yeah. So take it on.
I couldn't go down the slide, the water slide. There was a scale at the top. You walk all the way up, and then they weigh you. Who does that? Like, put one at the bottom.
Put the scale at the bottom.
For all the questionable people, you say, hey, maybe you go stand?
Yeah.
And it was 4 pounds.
And you were 4 pounds over the weight that they required.
That was it. Because I had lost weight walking around Florida for the week and whatnot.
That's right.
But I was still 4 pounds. And combined with my wife, we were still good.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it if it was me and like Taylor was like, what, 3 then?
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. Like, but I mean, really what's going to happen to the two of us?
Yeah. But my biggest thing when you had come in and kind of told me that story, I was like, man, that sucks. And put the scale at the bottom.
Yeah. Right.
Why the hell would you put the scale at the top?
Fucking Disney does.
And
Disney has those seats you can sit in, and if your ass doesn't fit, you don't wait in that hour line.
And then Nick, when he had to go down, he had to like apologize because he was going down. Yeah. So he had
fat walk of shame.
So he had to go all the way down. So
I didn't apologize to anybody.
No, I know, but you're like, oh, excuse me.
You just felt like,
hey, excuse me.
And then John was at the bottom, and like we had been making fun of John. For
being
We went to Universal the day before. He couldn't go on like half the rides. Mm-hmm. I actually didn't really make fun of him a whole lot, but he probably just took it as I did.
Yeah.
But then he thought it was funny. He's like, you can't go. like finally, it's not me. It's like, you just fucking knew you couldn't go.
Well, I think that when you're going through what you're going through and you're like, dude, like this sucks. So when some people come in and I ask them, I'm like, hey, what was the catalyst? Why are you in here? Some people are just like, hey, I just woke up, looked in the mirror. I was like, man, I really let myself go, or I don't feel good anymore. Like nothing fits. You get that a lot. But Nick came in and he was like, this is Nick's words, not mine. He goes, I was too fat for this ride and I need to lose weight, dude. And he had also, you were coming from a system where they had put him on a nutrition plan and gave him
diet.
Yeah, they had given him like 500 calories.
300.
Whatever. It's
maybe 350. It was like 3 to 350.
It is awful. Anything that's not that or a fad diet or not sustainable or has these drastic restrictions like caloric restriction, like too much caloric restriction, you are going to set yourself up for failure. So let's just say that Nick was supposed to have, I'm just making numbers up, 2,000 calories a day, let's just say. So now you have a system that's taking 1,500 to 1,700 calories away from you each day. Instead of doing what we do here or doing what we know works or balanced dieting, which is what we believe in here. And so let's say that Nick was supposed to be, having, 2,000 calories as a maintenance, and we wanted Nick to lose weight, we'd put him at 1,900 calories, or we'd put him at 1,850, something like that. A lot of these programs that take things out like that, these giant fad diet ones, they'll drastically chop your calories down. And then what you do is it's not sustainable. You become very angry, very, very angry.
It was definitely angry. Like I've quit smoking a few times. Mm-hmm. It was never that bad.
Yeah. Well, think about it. You're not eating 1,700 calories or whatever.
Ashley hated me.
Yeah. I imagine his wife.
That diet, maybe a week lasted until I almost died when I almost fell off the ladder because I was like super lightheaded. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, this is bad.
Yeah.
But I think one of my customers gave me a hard time too. Mm-hmm. He was pretty cool. Like I know the guy, but he commented on my bedside manner.
Yeah,
I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Granted, it was a house from hell too. So.
Yeah.
But I was like,
he had said you were being a jerk.
No,
it was like you're being
like,
an asshole.
Nick, I think you might want to work on that bedside manner. And I was like,
that's a nice way to say that you're being an asshole.
Yeah, but I mean, I was fuck this. The house was
because
crooked.
you were hangry. You were hangry.
I was beyond.
You had no foods.
Yeah, it was bad.
You're like just sniffing food for calories is nothing. You're like
gaining weight.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. So Nick kind of had come from where a lot of people come from when they come in to us is this, and like I said, we talked about this too. This is our second take, which we don't have to keep telling people that, but it is funny. So the idea is that you get attracted to these easy solutions, these blanketed solutions. And if I had told him, because he's been here since May 18th, 2019, and it is 2024, and if I had told Nick, hey man, give me 5 years with you, and we can really make this better, and you could be more consistent, you can do those things, Nick would have just got out of the office. He would have been like, nope, I'll see you later, bud.
There's other trainers out there.
Yeah, there's there's great coaches. There's so many around this area.
Randomly picked you, so
yes.
We're going to move on.
but hear me out. So the thing is what we did with Nick is I had said, hey man, give me about 6 months, and you and I can really go through that. And in that time, we had dropped down I think it was 42 pounds, 38 to 42 pounds at that time.
Well, the slide I was at 254.
Well, so I know, but
I was probably somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And we got down to 201.
Yeah, yes. But I'm saying in that time, we had gotten down to that. Nick was we had focused a lot on Nick's for strength training. So you got very, very strong, which is good. And you still are strong. You are very strong.
Pretty cool.
Which is nice. But we have this kind of elephant in the room, really, when we talk about consistency and we talk about the things that we want to do. Nick is you could tell this, but my observations are Nick is a business owner. He's a father. He's a husband. He's a good friend, and he is also entertains a lot at his house. Constantly has good people around him. He's going to networking events. He's doing all these things now. So it's hard to eat better when you're trying to lose weight, and it's hard to sometimes say no when Nick has all of this opportunity. You're a very successful guy, so you have this huge thing, right? So how the hell do we navigate that now? Because Nick had some of his weight kind of creep up. And that's okay, because we've been focusing a little bit more on strength. And you had come back from Jamaica, honeymoon. Congratulations. He finally went on a honeymoon.
10 years later.
10 years later, went on a honeymoon.
Been married 10 years this year.
Yeah. So the idea is, what now? What do we do now? And I think for you, we have to focus more on your nutrition. We have to get back there. So we could talk strategies, all day. Your family has already come such a long way with you. Your wife is here at our semi-private trainings. She is,
who would have thought we would get her to do that?
I know.
And she likes it.
When
she looks forward to it now.
I was so happy, but I kept it deep inside.
It's because we deceived her, though.
We did kind of deceive her on that. But here she is. She's here, so it's okay. It's okay.
She thought it was all done and paid for already. And she was like, fuck, I have to go.
Yeah, now you have to go.
And then we talked and then paid. Front of her. She was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. But you know what?
Happy now, though.
I think she is. She looks healthy. She's strong.
She's gotten really strong.
She's
really
super
quick.
strong. She's super strong.
She kind of scares me. She's going to throw me around soon. But she got that strong that quick with never. I worked out since I was 20.
And she worked out
for
a
pro workout.
What was it?
She did
6 months, and you were like, "Holy shit!"
She's gotten you could see the muscles coming out of her legs.
Yeah,
she doesn't get it, but
I think
everybody else tells her now.
Well, she doesn't see it, but we certainly see it. Like everybody here sees it. And what's nice about that type of that your family has come a long way. I notice it with your daughters. Your daughters are, very deeply in karate, and now they're focused a little bit more. I mean, they're kids, so they're not going to focus so much on their nutrition, but they still have said stuff to you, I've noticed, in front of me.
Taylor said Saturday morning, she wanted me to make her pancakes, put all the stuff in. She sees all the sugar, and I'm like, Taylor, it's a lot of sugar. She's like, I know, Dad. we'll have to go work out after breakfast. We're going to go hit the garage.
Taylor's
We're going to go work out. Then
Such a sweet kid.
She just randomly got sick.
Yeah. But
I went to work out.
But the thing is like you have like this the implementing of good behavior is really shown with your family. Like your family has come a long way in like seeing how successful your two daughters are with karate and like doing that stuff and all the accolades and things that they're doing there. Seeing Ashley here in the semi-private trainings and seriously crushing it and like smiling when she comes in and then pushing herself while she's there. Seeing that you and I have done one-on-one training and semi-private training and seeing your commitment to it on top of your workload and family life.
Listen,
and
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
This just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If I stop moving.
But dude, you do a lot. Like you do a lot. You do a lot more than you think. So with that, we focus on strength. We focus on that shit. So that's like, we feel good, or I feel good about that. I hope you do. But now what? We have to kind of play this game now, because I wanted to do this podcast with Nick because I feel like it would have been a good motivator for you, because some people think that the people on this podcast that I've had are done now.
Why?
I'm just like, in general, I think a lot of people who aren't involved in our industry just think, hey, those people are done. They're not going to work out. They're going to do. No, these people are doing these things for the rest of their lives.
If you could just hit it super hard for a year and get great,
and then do nothing. Yeah, that's not the way.
Awesome.
That's not the way it works. You have to work it sometimes even harder because it's thankless. It's like not as about what's in the mirror.
You're
it's not about
as well. So you're just maintaining at that point.
Yeah, I think
it's really easy. People don't understand. Like they want to have a competition. You have a 500-pound fat friend, and they'll lose weight. All they got to do is take a few steps.
Yeah, to do those
literally
things.
Do nothing.
When it comes down to something you're trying to do and the goal is smaller, you have to do a lot more. You have to add to that. And to you, we're at that point, where it's like you've done a lot and you have come so far. But I think that you need to take it that extra step, but it's hard to do because Nick has all of those things. Like I said, business, being a father, being a husband, good entertainer.
Father part is what gets it, because the kids' activities.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday was our only free night, but now Ashley and I are here on Tuesday. So we don't even that's our early night to get home, and we get home at like 7:15.
Okay.
So to like plan, unless you could do a crock pot meal every day.
Yeah, which you can, but I get it
it's gonna get boring real quick,
It does, and this is why it's so important to have parents on who have children and who are focused on like, hey man, like sometimes I just have to do.
Well, it's also going to get easier now too, because now it's like lighter. It's going to be lighter later. I can cook outside. Like
a grill guy. You're a grill guy,
and it's more healthy on the grill because all the shit.
Well, you're eating a lot more lean meats. You're doing a lot of like grilled vegetables and stuff like that on the grill. Nick's a grill guy. He has a house that's built for like that house. He has like a good party. He has a good party house.
Smoker, and then now the flat top.
Yeah,
I love that flat top. That's awesome.
And so now you can be outside, you can do those things, and those things are tough. The winter's kind of tough. New England weather sucks. The New England weather here definitely does suck. But so the idea is like, how do we have a plan? How do we hash this out? And it's like nutrition. You pretty much just said it. So let's talk. Let's make a goal. Let's talk about it now, so it's recorded, so everybody sees it. So you have to see this podcast, and I will send it to you. I will send you the clip that I will make of this, and then I'll turn it into it. So,
a GIF.
So I think Nick wants to be at 200 pounds. So you want to be at 200 pounds and walk around and feel good at. So 200 pounds. Now, what are you at now?
It's got to be like 230.
So Nick wants to lose 30 pounds. So we're going to put him in a slight caloric deficit. We're going to watch his protein. We're going to bring his protein up a little bit because Nick is here quite a bit.
I'm already supposed to get almost 200 grams a week.
No, you're going to be you're going to be more at like 225, like 200. Yeah, because hear me out.
Maybe just take a bite out of the cow from.
Yeah, just bite a cow's ass. You could do that, but here's the thing. It's tough when you're a parent because I feel like. But I also feel as a parent, and I'm 8-month-old, so not I'm new. But I've also drawn those boundaries, and it's harder for some people to draw those boundaries. And I think it's a cop-out for some people to go, I can't draw those boundaries. Where we can, and it's like, hey, sometimes it'll slip through. But the thing is let's go with most of the time. The 80-20 rule that you and I were talking about. So if we kind of set up those boundaries a little bit, which is hard with kids because you just sometimes never know. You never know what's going to happen.
It's not just the kids. It's the winter.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's just dark early. You can't.
But you and I, 30 pounds. So let's go with 30 pounds. And I think we can do this because you're so skilled and because you and I work so well together. I think that if we gave ourselves that 4-month mark, if we gave ourselves about 4 months, we could do this in a really good, sustainable way.
I'm gonna need 4.5.
No.
Well, because I gotta go to Florida. And
no, see, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Just saying, I can't be.
You still can have fun
Cooking.
Yeah, you still
as I should.
Do you see what I'm saying right now? I'm gonna leave.
Listen, this is there. You can't really like.
This podcast is going to be more for you. It's going to be more for you, and I wanted this. I wanted this so very badly.
I just need that time. It's like add it.
He needs that time to add it. Yeah. You heard it here for. Yeah. So we have this. Now talk to me about just one thing. You have kind of quit. You've quit and restricted stuff.
Like what?
Talk to me. Smoking. You were big vaping before. You've done way better with that. Drinking a lot more. You've done way better with that. Nutrition, way better with that. Exercise, consistency, way better with that. You even, when Nick had some issues with, I think it was like the crux of your elbows and your elbow, it's like your hands, stuff like it still hurts a little bit. But so the idea is like you have done way better and kind of just like picked it up and just said, hey, it is what it is. How hard is it to do those things?
Well, when your physical therapist yells at you for doing that,
that's a little different. Yes.
He gets mad. He says, don't fucking pick it up.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm like, but there's things like you can't not pick it up. Like you have to go to work. You have to do it. I mean, it hurts to grab a cup of coffee. So
yeah, that's not
at
good.
This point, it's not that I can't do it. How much am I going to fight through it?
Yeah. No, but as far as like the stuff that you're doing with the restriction in a good way, like quitting smoking is a big one. Quitting vaping and also making sure that, there's been times, like I said, you've cut back on alcohol. You've did those things. Those things have helped you a lot.
Yeah, the alcohol doesn't, I don't know if that really helped. That was just more like I needed to do it.
But you did it for yourself. That's a good thing.
I did it for me because
alcohol is a poison. Like we know it's not good for us. Yeah, so I know, but for you to be able to say like, hey, I'll cut this out on my terms. Yeah. That's a big deal, dude.
Yeah,
that's
I felt like that all-inclusive trip.
Yeah, that did you.
I definitely
overdid it.
Yeah, you would think I would have been a lot more hungover, but I wasn't. I was actually good.
Yeah.
So I said, everybody did that dry January. I wasn't about to do that because I knew we planned this thing for like a year. Not going to ruin that. So I basically did dry February.
Ah, you're an innovator.
Yeah.
You're
except
just different.
The last
you're built
week.
Different.
The last week I was with my buddies. So
so it's dry February-ish?
It was dry-ish. 21 days.
Ish. Yes.
So, I mean, February is a little month anyway, so it was really close.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I wasn't going for the month. I was going for those 3 particular weeks.
Okay,
and if I want to pick another week,
you could do it.
3 weeks, yeah. I didn't like shake and freak out. Like there was none of that. It was just nope. There was a time here and there where it's like, I want to go grab a beer. Like I'm cooking.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh no, can't do that.
And those are things, like I said, those are good things to do. I think that giving yourself that momentary like bit of being uncomfortable and not being able to do these things that you enjoy, I think is good. Like that restriction is good.
Uncomfortable though.
Well, for some people, but you've had practice doing it.
Yeah, I did all right. Like I went to the bar with my buddies, and they're like, "Is it okay if we drink in front of you?" I'm like, "Listen, I wouldn't have come here. I'm not gonna be that asshole. I know I'm an asshole, but like."
Although I think that's kind of tough. That's super tough.
It was tough, but it was cool to make it hard.
Yeah. What? Oh, that. See, this is what I'm talking about. To expose yourself to, hey, this is difficult for me, but I'm still gonna do it. And then now you do it, and you're like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, it was even easy. Like you could sit home by yourself, like. The first weekend I did. The first weekend I was like, I ain't going out with nobody.
Yeah.
But the second one, I was like, all right, my buddy came up from Tennessee. He's only here for a few days. Like, I can't not go out with him, but I'm not going to restrict his fun.
Yeah.
So I just drank a shit ton of water at the bar and
just chilled. Just chilled.
Yeah.
So with that, we've done a lot of things together. And as far as with how you started and who you are in this person now in front of me is very, very different than the person who started.
I know I'm grayer.
You are much grayer.
I look like my shirt now.
It has nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with this gray hair. He has 2 daughters. It makes sense. I'm grayer.
I don't know where you're getting it from. You have no
yeah,
daughters.
Yeah. I have a son. He's super. I mean, I can't say.
He's not old enough to do that.
Yeah,
he doesn't. Wait till he talks back.
Yeah. Oh, he's already doing that. He just shouts randomly and scares the crap out of me.
He's not talking back.
Yeah. Well, he's talking back. He's fresh. If I had to say, like, if I asked you, what would you tell somebody who just started and wants to take better care of their health and wellness, or wants to start doing it? What advice would you give them?
To not expect it overnight.
Okay.
For one, it depends on how bad somebody wants it too. It's because how many friends do you have? Like, I need to lose weight. I need to do this. And they're just, they're not gonna. They're going to talk. I have a bunch of them, and it's like, you want to go walk the path with me? I can always lose more weight or get more steps. I'll always take more steps. Not that I need it as much as you need it, but I'm willing to do it with you for both of us. And it's just never going to happen. So it depends on who's asking you. It's like someone that already signed up, spent the money, and like they're like committed. Like, yeah, now it's like, well, don't give up, don't get discouraged. There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to hit plateaus. You just change it up, and you can't expect it overnight. I guess that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and that sucks for me too, because I like instant gratification with everything. I want it now.
So you're saying you would say to people who are just starting to be like, hey man, like, it's not going to happen overnight.
It's definitely not, but you also need to commit to it too. And like, you actually have to want it. If you don't want it, if you just want to talk about it, it'll never happen. But that's like anything in life.
That's very true.
You need to take those steps and push,
Otherwise, you like the things that are worth having, you need to risk, or you need to do something for. Yeah. And the things that I do think I'm with you. A lot of people in our friend group do just talk. I mean, I have similar people, not as much now, but people that just talk about the success or the things they want, and then people who do it, which is...
That's why I try now to be around people who have been doing it.
Yeah.
Because I need the inspiration too.
Yeah, it's very true. Well,
negativity rubs off on people pretty easily. Mm-hmm. You work with somebody that's just like super negative, you're going to be pissed off all the time too.
Yeah.
You work with somebody that makes you laugh and whatnot, you're just...
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's not so much work.
Yeah. Well, it makes it a little bit easier, but once and also you accept that it is work. Like, you just accept it, and then it becomes about the journey. Mm-hmm. Then you might be able to, get somewhere a little or not faster, but you might be able to get somewhere and actually attitude. With a better attitude towards it too, because it's gonna be difficult regardless.
I mean, it gets done. It's easier if you have a positive attitude.
For sure.
I've always tried to instill that in anybody that ever came to work for me. Just think positive.
Yeah.
Being an asshole about it is not going to make your day better.
That's very true.
It's just like, it's gonna get done one way or another. You could be a bitch the whole time and hate your life, or you can have fun with it, and it just kind of gets done, But
true,
it is your attitude has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, because like telling somebody about the harsh realities of trying something or doing something difficult, regardless, like, trust us when we tell you, we're not always going to want to do it. You're not always going to want to show up. Most of the time, actually, you're not going to want to show up. And most
it's like
of the
60,
time,
40.
Yeah. And we're lucky if we even get 60-40. So the thing is,
60 being not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would be even lucky. Dude, I'm like 80-20 sometimes. I do not want to train sometimes. So sometimes you just do it, right? So those people who are looking for that instant gratification, you're looking for that easy easy bit.
That doesn't exist.
It does.
If it did, I would do it.
Once you know that it doesn't exist, like once you do, you just free yourself of everything else.
Yeah.
And I've worked with Nick for a long time, and Nick has definitely been one of the people who has been attracted to easy instant gratification doing those. And I know
it's just not there. It's not.
But but it's different now. He's accepted, like, hey, You just got to put in the work, and this is what happens. And that is what we are going to do, Nick, for the next 4 months. We're going to put in the work, and then we are going to have a follow-up podcast on this podcast. You're the only person that I've done this with. So we are going to have a follow-up podcast. We are going to get to your goal. We're going to get to your goal because Nick has a goal in mind. Are we going to
get to the goal,
we're going to get to the
are
goal.
we going to just do it in 4 months and be like, you suck, you didn't make it to your goal?
No. No, I'm not going to do that to you. We're going to get to our goal. I would never. I would do it, but I'm not going to do it to you. So I'm going to go. We're going to get to the goal. 4 months, and we're going to have a podcast and we celebrate. Deal?
So it's going to be like the 4th of July.
Deal?
So we're going to do it right after big party, and I gained 4 pounds, and it's going to throw everything off.
Deal?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Shake my hand on camera. On camera, shake my hand.
Listen.
No.
It's a deal that we'll
You listen to me. You listen to me. If you shake my hand.
What exactly are we shaking here?
We are getting you 200 pounds in 4 months. 200 pounds. 200. I need to see that on the scale. You said you wanted it. Are you going to shake my hand? If we don't, you got to pay me double.
If we don't, next year's free.
No.
That means you're not good at your job.
There's a catch. He's got me there.
You've had 5 years to make perfection out of this.
We have to do it.
What's happening?
We have to do it. 4 months.
We'll go for 4 months.
4 months.
We'll do it. I don't know if it's going to get to that number.
I need that handshake.
But we will. We'll redo this.
We'll redo this in 4 months. 4 months.
We'll see where we're at.
We will be there.
We better be close.
Listen, we will be there. So
if not, we'll just go get the lipo. That's
don't
the easy
listen.
way out.
Stop.
See, I like
no more.
Gratification.
Stop listening to him. He's done. We're going to do this.
Pay for it.
4 months.
Shook on it.
You heard it here. 4 months. He's going to be doing the semi-private trainings and the personal trainings. I'm really, really excited. Nick, this has been a real pleasure. Let's go grab a drink. No, I'm kidding. Most likely we're going to go grab a drink after this.
That does sound like a plan.
It does sound really good. All right, we are out of here, Nick. Thank you so much. Ashley, great job. Seriously, awesome job. She's going to watch this and be like, oh my God, he's so handsome.
It is good, though,
Ben.
to get, like, whether, like, you're not getting, I'm obviously not as, like, thin as I'd like to be, but I do feel a lot stronger.
You are strong.
Like,
You're extremely strong.
I like to be strong. Like, my brother calls me today to lift this 900-pound beam into the ceiling, but they think of me.
Yeah, well, you're competent. You're very, very strong. You've trained for a long time, but I do think that now. Nick had said to me before we started the podcast, and like I said, we just did this whole thing, that he wasn't where he wanted to be, and I said we needed to work with that too. So it's like
define.
Yes, yeah. No. Like he has a goal, he wants to do this thing, and now it's a visual goal that we need, an aesthetic goal we want to be. He's already strong, he's already healthier, he's already limited himself and challenged himself in these ways that are extremely difficult. But now it's time for some of the aesthetic stuff.
I want to get to that, like Rogue does, that 1,000-pound club.
Oh, we could do that too.
So I can get.
You're already close.
I want that flag.
You're pretty close.
1,000-pound club.
Yeah, you. All right, so now we have 2 things. So we've got a 1,000-pound club and that.
I just wish my body wasn't fighting me. Like everything hurts.
Listen,
that's the worst part.
We're gonna change that. We got this. All right, we are out of here. We're gonna leave on that negative note with Nick. We're gonna go.
What's negative?
He's like, everything hurts. I'm like, we need to get out of here.
My neck hurts. My elbows hurt. Every time I want to lift super heavy,
you just need to be held, dude. You just need to be held. All right,
like a nice cuddle.
Yes, we are out of here. Thank you, Mr. Nick. I'll see you. Oh, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Later.
Another year.